Well, it's Sunday, October the 9th, 1966, Saigon. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. I got back from church and communion at about 1:15. Went up and had a cold plate sandwich, which consisted of half a sandwich of ham, half a sandwich of turkey, and a half a sandwich of roast beef. Pretty good. I didn't want to eat too heavily, so I just had a cold plate luncheon. I could have either had meatloaf or something else I don't even remember now, but anyway, I chose the cold plate lunch. Everything's fine here. It just stopped raining a little while ago. Still miss you. Love you all, of course. I guess you'll hear that on every doggone recording I make, but hope you don't get tired of hearing it. The roof started to leak again in the bathroom. I guess they fixed it one time, but it's goofed up again, so I hear a bunch of noise up there. I imagine there's some repairman up there working on the roof, or working on the plumbing. My roommate had to work this afternoon, so I thought this would be a real fine opportunity for me to get a tape off to you. I'll cut half of it again this afternoon like I usually do, and then wait till he goes back to work again before I cut the other half. Of course, I'm going to get knocked out of a heck of a lot of my privacy here pretty soon when this third man moves in the room. So far, there's no indication that he's moving in. They've moved the bed in, of course, but no hint of when we'll get our new roommate. But it might be a little difficult for me to make tapes then, due to the fact that even though the other guy works nights, this other guy might be around constantly. He might be a regular room rat, so I'll have to pick up the little recorder here someplace and go off to myself and record. Or maybe not, I'll just go ahead and record, and if he gets embarrassed with what I say, then he can leave the room. I don't care. Anyway, that's the way it'll be for a while, I guess. The hotel I go to church is the Rex Hotel. It's a high-ranking officer's billet over here in Saigon. Room 322. They've built a little chapel in there. It's a pretty nice little place. It's air-conditioned and everything. When I come out of the hotel today, out of church, I saw a bus that was coming down by my hotel, but it was really, really packed, so I decided I'd walk on down. It's only about 6 or 7 blocks. So I started walking, and I never realized the little smells and odors and stinks you can get when you're walking along the street. I passed a couple of these Vietnamese restaurants here, these outdoor restaurants where they're eating rice with some kind of sauce and some kind of fish or some kind of something on it. The odors from the restaurant, of course, come out. Then you pass these little buildings and little alleys where they're all wet and muddy and crummy, and you get another type of an odor, and you'll pass a little garbage pile, like I said, and get a little teeny weeny bit of an odor, and then you pass a great big garbage pile, and boy, you really smell them. But anyway, the streets are crowded. It's Sunday. Even though it's Sunday, I think everybody comes out and goes to running around here in Saigon on Sunday because the streets are packed. I took a couple of slides this morning. I finally did buy some slide film and put it in the camera. And I took 3 pictures from the roof of the plaza here. And I don't know how they'll come out. They'll come out pretty good, I guess. I want to get downtown and take some pictures of the fronts of these movie houses. They really doll them up when they feature a movie. And they put an awful lot of artwork into these things just to advertise a film. And then down the street from us, we've got a live show theater. You follow what I mean? It's a place that just puts on plays, no film or anything, always live, you know, some kind of a opera, a play, or oriental play or something. And they really got an ornate sign out front right now depicting what's inside. And I want to get down before they change signs and get a slide of it. I still haven't been able to find any Polaroid film that's used in the camera, but I'll keep looking, and when I do, you'll get some immediate scenes of Saigon that I can take with the Polaroid film and send on home to you. I surely enjoy some of these things. These guys up above me are making an awful lot of noise. I think they're rearranging their furniture so that they can accommodate the third man that'll probably be moving in next week. They just move the furniture around to give the guy enough room to live, I guess. But they're scraping furniture, they're moving it, and I can hear it scraping on the floor. I don't know if you can hear it in this recording or not, but they're making all kinds of noise up there. Besides the guy working on the plumbing, I think they're probably tearing the room apart. Sunday's a pretty good day as far as eating around here, though at night they always have steak, or in the last 4 or 5 weeks they've had steak or lobster tail. I tried a little lobster tail. I think tonight I'll have a nice big fat steak, and I'll tell the waitress to bring me one lobster tail with it. Lobster tail is a really rich meat. I don't know how much it costs in the States, but some of these guys will have 4 or 5 or 6 of those lobster tails. I don't know how they eat so much of that rich stuff. They managed to get it down anyway. And I think I told you before in a letter, or perhaps I've told you on a tape, but upstairs on the roof is a restaurant, and they have a patio up there. It's up on the 9th floor, incidentally, and I live on the 3rd floor, so I get to exercise at least twice a day. I walk up the flight of stairs for breakfast and walk back down, and then I walk up for supper and walk back down to my room to the 3rd floor. So I get the exercise. Well, anyway, up on the roof, they have these big barbecues that are made out of cut-down 55-gallon drums. You know the type. You've seen them, Margie, overseas where the GIs have made them. And they just grill the heck out of these steaks up there. They'll throw a whole bunch of steaks on it. Boy, I've had some real delicious steaks over here, grilled like that from the barbecue. And they turn out real nice. But it was really something for me to see when I first got here. You know, you go up on the roof and here's these people in a maze of smoke. You can't hardly see the people, and they're throwing buckets of water on these fires because the doggone thing catches flames, and but they're cooking steaks. And as they cook the steaks, of course, they'll bring them into the mama-san who's in charge of all this stuff there. When the waitress comes over, she'll ask you how you want your steak. Do you may want it medium, rare, or well done? And if you say medium rare, well, stand by. It'll bleed all over you. And the only way you can get a medium steak over here, I don't know what these people consider a medium or a medium rare steak, but if you say well done, your best chance in the world is that you'll get a medium steak. I've seen guys ask for well done steaks and come back where the first slice they make in a steak, the poor steer says, ouch, it's so raw. And then I've seen them ask for a well done steak so you could take that thing and cook it in the fires as charcoal. I found out that, well, I haven't found out, but I know several people have done it already. Any place that you can R&R to, you can take a 7-day leave to. So you can just about plan, Margie, if they don't change things with it by the time I'm ready to go. You can just plan on going to Hawaii, you and Chris. I'm sure that Nano and Carrie won't mind batching for a week while you're over there in the lower land, enjoying yourself and surfing and living it up on the beach in the wonderful Waikiki. But anyway, all kidding aside, if I don't happen to make out with R&R, I will definitely put in for a leave. Now, I don't know how they work the leave. I don't know whether you're going space available or if you can get a confirmed seat to Hawaii and back or not. I'll have to check up on it, but anyway, you can plan on getting over to Hawaii because I'm going to be there either February or March. So that should break up the tour real good. Oh boy, I'm sure looking forward to Hawaii. Hi, Chrissy, baby boy. How's my sweet baby? Are you listening to Daddy? Don't you try and look in there. Daddy's not in there. He's way over in Saigon. But he still misses his baby, and he loves him very much. I wonder what Chris is doing right now when he listens to me say that, Margie. Hi, Chris. See you soon, honey. Love you much. Oh man, when she gets on them tapes, she sounds so sad, you know. Whoa, man. Yeah, take it easy on the exercise now, kiddo. Don't want to strain yourself. You still got Margie doing it? I imagine old Margie and you get on the floor and poor old Chris gets down and does sit-ups and leg raises and deep knee bends. So you go up 2, 3, 4. He can show you a few things about exercising, can't you, Chris? Huh? You still got Happy Pat, baby? Oh boy, Chrissy sleeps with Happy Pat. Lucky Chrissy. Well, Gunnar, I just happened to think I saw the maid today too, and I forgot to give her those seeds you gave me. Oh, I'll give them to her next week. They had some candy lollipops at the PX that were, I think originally they were 29 cents or something, and then they knocked them down to 15 cents a bag because they were starting to melt, you know, in the heat. They're all encased in individual containers, but they're a big bag of lollipops. I don't know, I guess there's maybe 25, 30 lollipops in it. So I brought it home to her, and I bought 3 bags the other day. And when I come home yesterday, Saturday, I give her this bag of lollipops to take home to her kids. And she was tickled pink. She said, oh, baby, ooh, boy, jump, ooh, oh, like, you know. And she calls me number one, you know, which means very good, a very good number 1. Like I told you before, number 10 is, man, that's lower than whale stuff, you know. But she seems to really appreciate that stuff to give her for the kids. A lot of the guys give her, they buy these pretzels and potato chips and French fry, not French fry, but shoestring potatoes in a can, you know. If you buy them in a can, they're a lot fresher. And they'll eat half the can, they'll give them to her, and she'll take them home. She really appreciates it. But if you don't buy these things in a can over here, they're real soggy. Like I bought a bag of peanuts here the other day, you know, Planters peanuts in that plastic bag. Well, I'm sounding like, you know, just like chewing on lima beans. They were so soft. But they have canned peanuts over here, and of course that's the only way to buy them. If you buy them any other way, they're lousy. I'm reading a real good book now. It's about the Navy, you know. I think we saw the picture, Margie. I think we saw it on television one time with Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster. Run Silent, Run Deep, about submarine service. It's a really exciting book. I'm enjoying it immensely. Tells how they started out from New London, you know, and go over to the Pacific, and I'm just in the point where they've just finished their first war cruise. It's really a nice book. Over a couple of other detective stories, you know. You know, I like them things. Good little gory, bloody books. Well, I was better in science fiction than comic books, I guess. Of course, there's nothing wrong with comic books. What the heck? Kids like to get off in a dream world by themselves and kind of make believe they're Batman or Superman. Did you ever do that, Margie, when you were a kid? Remember you got them funny books that had the girl heroes too. Did you ever put yourself in a place where one of those girl heroes where you could fly through the air and jump from building to building and swing through the trees and run like a breeze and nothing ever bothered you, boy. You were just king of the hill. You just see the bloom these people use over here, Margie. It's really something. I'm going to have to bring one of those things home when I come home. Well, I thought I'd bring 3 or 4 of them home or send them home or something. But I can't describe it. You'll have to see it. And I'll bring one home, and also I'll bring a duster home. The minute left one in the room here, I'm looking at it right now. It's a stick with a bunch of chicken feathers on it. I guess it does a good job. Of course, she doesn't do a very good job cleaning the room, incidentally. She washes Eleanor's clothes real good, but she's a lousy cleaner. I don't know, maybe she just doesn't like to touch things up under the dresser or anything. I got all my books up here. And we have some the lamps and ashtrays, but she never dusts up here. I don't know if she's afraid she'll
be accused of taking something if there's something missing, or if she just neglects it. Anyway, she does a good job on laundry, so well, not an excellent job, but she does a fairly decent job, let's put it that way. Anyhow, incidentally, we got a nice picture in the refrigerator. One of them was in here that had some Kool-Aid in it. Well, I've been sucking it up a little bit, taking a little Kool-Aid every once in a while, So last night I ran out of Kool-Aid that was in the jug. So guess what I used? You bet your boots. I made some strawberry, pretty sweet Kool-Aid from what my sweet wife sent me. Yep, about 2-quart jug of it. Now I haven't tasted it yet. Well, I think I'll go and get me a glass of wow. Excuse me. Well, I'm not sweating it. It's very good. I can't be getting anything in the world any better than strawberry, pretty sweet and Kool-Aid. I also bought some fizzies. You know what I did? Those fizzies are little tablets. You take them and you drop them in a big glass full of water every day. Now the bubble ready to put a little bit of cold or a little bit of strawberry, a little bit of something, so I bought some of the bubbles. Guess what? Full of different bubbles. Well, I've still another name I'd like to tell you this time around. So I'm going to stay till tomorrow. And I'm hoping no one moves in here about Monday, and I will do this to them. Take a big getting morning today. All about Tuesday, about it. All about no one will go tomorrow. So I don't have this out. But if you go over very much, because I was left skin and put you like to the big day there, so I lost. Well, I have to be paid to your life, kill enough for it. Well, I would like to keep all right. They will let you go to the field. Well, I'm allowed. Well, we've 2 days. Well, love it. They kill the baby, so I'll kill it. Never big about it. Love you. That was not cool about for base, really. To the big deal when I was Mexican, sure, that's how. It's got about $11 man, about Mexican.
Howdy, everybody. Hi, honey. Hi, Christopher. Missed you all, as I say every time I make this thing. This is side 2. It's 5 minutes of 8 in the evening. October the 11th, 1966, Saigon. Well, I got home about an hour ago. I just came in the room here to wash my hands, face a little bit. Went ahead upstairs and got something to eat. I'm starting to eat earlier now, so that when I get through eating, I've got a little time to do what I wanted to do. Of course, you know from this recording that my roommate is working, otherwise I don't make recordings. But I ate about, well, I guess I got up there about 5 minutes to 7, and sat around and had a little 6-ounce steak they had. Came back down here and sorted out some books I'm trading with a guy, you know, those good old bloody detective stories I was telling you about. And I went and took a shower. Just got out of the shower just a few minutes ago. Went in the locker over here, got the tape recorder. So here I am. Hi, Kelly. How you doing? How's everything going in school? I sure hope you're passing. You sent that, when you told me on the recorder all the real tough subjects you'd taken. You missed math? How could you ever miss math? Boy, of all the subjects for you to miss is math. So you're going to have to make that up before you graduate. You better get on the stick, kid, because math is going to stand you in importance all the rest of your life. And if you got any future plans for any kind of a scientific or educational type deal, then you better get some math in under your belt. Otherwise, you're hurting. Hi, Nana. How you doing, kiddo? How's things down in Mexico? Not too hotsy-totsy? Well, I sure hope you enjoy yourself down there. I just wish that I was close enough to just take a drive down to Ensenada or Rosarita Beach. Of course, I don't know about those Mexican highways. I guess they're pretty rough. So maybe I'm better off staying right here in the United States. Just a little while ago, as I come down from the mess hall upstairs, this E7 in the Army, this Sergeant First Class He's equal to a master sergeant in the Air Force. He's a colored guy. He come along and he said, "Hey, Sarge, you got an ice box, a refrigerator?" I says, "Yeah." So doggone, he says, "A buddy of mine give me a whole bunch of hamburger here," and he says, "I ain't got no place to put the doggone stuff. It's frozen. It's going to go bad." He says, "You want some?" I said, "Well, I don't know. Give it to me. I'll put it, see if it'll fit in the freezer if you want me to hold it for you." I said, "But I don't want it. I have nothing to do with it. You know what? I don't cook in the room or anything. I go right upstairs and eat in the restaurant." So I gone and got 2 big chunks. I guess they're 5-pound blocks each. And I put them in the refrigerator here. So his buddy will come around, I guess, and claim them. And if he doesn't, if they sit here for about a week, I'll just take them out to one of the guys I work with. He batches out there. Well, not batches, but they live in a hotel, 2 guys to a room, where they have a refrigerator, and they're able to cook in the rooms because they don't have any mess hall out there. If they don't cook in the rooms by themselves, they'll have to go over to the NCO club to eat, and that gets pretty expensive. So they buy their stuff in the commissary and take turns on cooking the chow. So if he didn't pick that up, I'll just give it to him. I was on the roof last night, looking around for a little while after I'd eaten. I forgot to mention over here, but when you get up real high on the roof there, and of course you can see all over the city, we're up on the 9th floor, I believe it is. It's one of the tallest buildings in Saigon here. But at night, about 8 o'clock, or just when it starts to get dark, when you look down from the terrace, from the roof, patio, whatever you want to call it, down into the street lights, of course, are on, and you can see fluttering back and forth there, the bats. You know, there's quite a few bats over here. They come out, of course, when it gets dark and start hunting for bugs, and had a cough, and they flit and fly all over the place. You can see them fluttering back and forth down there, right above the street lights. Also, this guy, when I went in his room to pick up the meat that he wants me to store for me, he handed me a whole 1-pound can of shelled walnuts and it says on here, walnuts shelled, L.A. Nut House, 1 pound net. So I'll take those things out to work and just open them up and let the guys go ahead and dig into them. Well, so far so good. The 3rd man still hasn't moved into the room yet. But of course I'm expecting any night to come home from work and find him having his bunk all set up and just moved right in. Well, as long as he stays out, the longer we'll have a little more privacy and be a little better living here than it was, or that it will be with the 3 men in the room. Hi, Chris. You been a good boy for Mommy? Boy, you sure look pretty in all those pictures. Yes, you did, son. You look nice with your nice plaid shirt on. I like them all, Margie. I got that one where he's sitting on his what's the name of that horse again? I forget it. That hobby horse, you know? And evidently he just come from running out of the hose. And I've got it right in front of me right now. And he's sitting on there with a real tough look on his face, and his hair's all sopping wet and hanging down over his forehead. And then I got that one with him and Blondie standing in front yard that you put down, the cutest. And sure, he's cute. What do you look so mad about in your picture there? Doggone it, you got Chris in his plaid shirt, and you're standing there with Janet and Mickey, and you kind of bending over Chris and staring into the camera like you're mad or something. And I got that one right here now of you standing right there in front of the fence by yourself. That's a good picture. You look real good, sweetie. And then I got Chrissy sitting on a chair on one of those folding cots that we bought in Oklahoma, and with a shirt on, says, "I'm a little angel." And he sure is. You're a little angel, Chrissy. Daddy loves you very much. You betcha. Blondie? I didn't forget you, Blondie. Hiya, Blondie. Hiya, puppy dog. You're a nice doggy. Yes, sir, Blondie. Yep, good dog. I bet Blondie's ears perked up when she heard that, huh? Did she come running out? Turn it back and raise the volume on that thing, and see if Blondie comes running over to her. Come on, Blondie. Come on, pup. Come on, Blondie. Got an opportunity to get down the salvage yard today, and we got quite a bit of junk over here in this salvage yard. You know those Coleman lanterns I always threatened to buy? Well, they got some Army types here. They are Coleman lanterns, but they got a whole box of them. So I started scrounging around, and I built some. I picked up a couple of them and traded parts, and put this part on this one, put that part on that one, and I brought two of them back to the shop. I mean, I got a couple pretty good lanterns there. I got to get back down there tomorrow and try and get a few little extra parts, and then I need a globe for one of them. But heck, they're good. They'll cost you, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 bucks in the States, and they're the same thing except they're a little different color, and they work real fine. So when we decide to go camping, we won't have to worry about buying any Coleman lanterns anyway. We've already got the lanterns to brighten our campsite. Remember that time when we went from Texas to California camping all along the way with our little tent trailer, the one we put up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning up there in Tucumcari, New Mexico, pulled into that park, tried to put up that stupid tent. Stupid things were falling down, and a dumb tent wouldn't go together, and everybody's sleepy. Then after you get the dumb thing up, you slept on a hard hard metal because we couldn't afford the mattresses, or sleeping on the blankets. And then we went on further and further, and we stopped down there in that real nice spot outside of, well, we stopped at Blue Water then the next night. Went to Blue Water, and it was real pretty there, remember? And of course it was real cool in the morning, but it wasn't as cool as when we stopped at outside of Prescott, Arizona there. Remember we stopped, there was no water, and that's the night you chickened out. Yeah, you went and slept in the, I think that was the place you went and slept in the car. And the girls and I had to rough it out in there in the tent trailer, freezing to death. And you chickened out and went in the car. And then I got up in the morning, and remember it was the middle of August there, and boy, it was freezing. Well, it was about 40 to 35 degrees there, and we making coffee with a blanket around my head. And then less than a day's drive from there, and we were roasting. When we got down into over those mountains through that Jerome. Jerome. You know, when I climb up that hill and around and around and around, sure, it was a real interesting, but it was a tough climb. That good old Plymouth, it made it real easy. That was a good little car. Probably should still have it, would be better off. Look at the money we'd be ahead. Well, anyway, hindsight is a lot easier than foresight. But you profit by your mistakes, I guess, so you don't make any mistakes anymore of the same kind. It's okay to make one mistake, but don't make the same thing twice. If you do, you're showing it's a little stupid. Well, anyway, enough philosophy. Then we got down in the desert country there. We were going to Palm Springs, where your mother had the lava ronda, and it got blazing hot. Oh boy, how could the weather change so much in a period of 250 miles? Just doesn't seem possible that you could be making coffee in the morning, freezing with a blanket around your head, and the next afternoon, or about 8 hours later, you're ready to take off all your clothes and jump in the water someplace. Some country, huh? Well, the PXs were closed all day today for inventory, so I'm just going to try and get up there at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning when they open up, just to drive past the place and see what kind of a line they get. I imagine it'll be fantastic tomorrow because everybody's got the opinion that they didn't have anything on the floor, which they didn't have. They, just before inventory, how they'll do that, they'll just keep a few items on the floor and sell out of things and don't bother to restock because of the fact that they're going to have an inventory. So they inventory what's on the shelves, and it makes it a lot easier. And the next day they put a lot of goodies out. Well, I imagine tomorrow everybody's got the idea that the PXs will be loaded with goodies, and I'm sure they will be. But if you saw how they have to fight to get up to the counter, and I was real lucky, like I say, on these recorders. I got them pretty easy. But when you get up to that counter and start having to fight everybody to get this or get that, or it just doesn't seem right. One thing I do want is a little slide viewer, the kind that you put in singly and you hold it in your hand. And you just push down on the slide and the little lights inside so that you can see the slide and the quality. Instead of setting up a whole slide machine, you ought to buy yourself one of those at the Navy PX down in Marcy. They should have them. I think they run about $1.50. Because when I get through with the 35mm camera here, the AGFA, which I have some film in now, I told you I took 3 films off of the roof, and of course I expect to take more. And the developing is already taken care of with the price of the film, and it goes off to Hawaii for developing. And then I'll get them back here and look at them, and then I'll just send them on home. I want you to keep these things separate and aside because, like I told you before, we want to label these things Vietnam. I'm also looking forward tomorrow. Maybe I'll get up there sometime before they run out, or if somebody from the place goes up there and buy some doggone Polaroid film so I can get that thing going. I hate like heck to have you send it to me. It seems a little ridiculous to have your wife send you things that normally should be easy to obtain at the PX, but have to go and get them from the States. It's ridiculous. You know, anyway, that's the way it works over here, so I might even do that. But if I do, I'll just send you the money so it won't strap you, and just have you pick them up and send them over to me. Of course, it'll cost more like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll just sweat it out and get some when they come in. That's all. I've got to work this Sunday out at the base, so it's going to be an awful long week. I'll try and take off Saturday and go out there and maybe cut a tape in 3 hours. You know what I was telling you about, how I was going to get the big tapes and cut them. Excuse me, I had a cough again. Those tapes that I'll cut will be 1,800 feet, and like I told you in the letter, they'll run for an hour and a half on each side, or 3 hours total music. And heck, I can cut at least one tape a week over here. So that means I can have at least 35, 40 tapes by the time I get back to the States. Of course, you can buy these things pre-recorded, but if you get a real good one like that, or buy some real fine orchestras, they run you, well, on the PX I imagine they'll run you about $5 a tape. So if you can figure I got 35 tapes copied off of their master tapes, it'll turn out just as good as theirs are. And heck, I've got $200 worth of tapes sitting right there for nothing. And you could, gee, if you got that many tapes, you wouldn't get tired of listening to music. Anyway, you know the music I'll record, we won't get tired of listening to anyway. It'll be that nice, smooth, slow, instrumental type of music. Well, I didn't know I could rattle on so much just into a microphone. I must have completely gotten over my stage fright, because I can just rattle on and rattle on and rattle on. It's just like going to a job as an instructor. When you first begin, you're real leery, you're nervous, and you first get up to speak, you're kind of stiff, and your legs are a little queasy, or your voice seems to falter on you. You get a big, thick lump in your throat. Can't seem to get your breath, but after you're standing up there for about, you can get over the first 2 minutes, you're all set. McNamara got to town yesterday, I guess. He hasn't contacted me yet for anything, but I'm keeping myself available. If he needs me for anything, I'll be only too happy to help him out in more ways than one. But anyway, he's in town. I don't know what they're talking about. I can imagine they're talking about the money aspects and how many more troops they'll need over here, and this and that, and blah, 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 and how much money they'll spend, of course, is the main topic, I think, how much more money they'll need. Well, I see I'm just about ready to run out of tape again. I sure don't want to end this tape talking about McNamara, so I'll talk about us. I do miss you. I want you to believe that. I miss you all very much. I just wish that I could get home here to you and just stay there. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like putting in for concurrent overseas travel, and sometimes I feel like just coming back to the States. I want to consider Christopher's schooling and where he'll have to start his school and all this stuff. Well, I guess the American schools overseas are just as good, but anyway, you know, we want to think about this. So the tape is running out. I want you all to know I love you very much. Good night, Mom. Love you. Good night, Chrissy Pie. Daddy loves you very much. Good night, Carrie. Love you. Nana, love you too, kiddo. Take it easy and don't work too hard. Don't knock yourself out. Think of me once in a while, because I always think of you guys. So, play it cool, kid. Love you.